Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I'm not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every session of film therapy, I have a guest patient, and that guest patient today is Scottie Jordan. Welcome. Come, sit down.
Hello. Thank you so
Hello.
much for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. I'm very excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
For those of you who are tuning into film therapy for the very first time, welcome. Here's how this show works. I am going to ask Scottie three questions about film. They're the same three questions each time. The first one is, what is a film that inspires you? The second is, what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And the last question, which is, what is a film that helps you through difficult times? So I started this show because I suffer from depression, and I find that film is a way of coping through depression. And I just want to always put my disclaimer at the top that I'm not a therapist. Scottie's not a therapist. We cannot help you. So if you are having a problem at this time, please call 911, go to your doctor, find someone that you can talk to.
Definitely.
Yes. And before we start, let's get to know Scottie. Hey.
Hello. Yes, I'm Scottie Jordan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Go Cowboys. I'm just, I'm a guy who I work a lot. I'm striving to become a TV host, and I love kids. I work with kids. I'm a mentor. I'm a gentleman. I'm engaged to an amazing woman. Hey, baby. We're excited. Thank you for having me.
You can take longer than like 10 seconds to
Right.
introduce yourself,
Right.
just so you know. Because in class, it's like, say who you are, 10 seconds, go. And
That's
it's
what I'm so
very
used to.
intense,
That's
right?
yeah. We are in class together, and yeah,
Mhm.
anyway. So sometimes I can talk fast, but yes, I am. I'm so excited to be here. I actually got my grandma here too. She's over there.
She
You can't really
is.
see her, but
I could turn the camera at some point. No, she's shaking her head no. So I won't be doing that. But we do have an audience, a live
we
audience, as
do.
well as live
Hello, hello.
audience over there. Oh, and you
Awesome.
may be able to hear some clapping, but maybe not. Um, I wanted to ask you, you just launched a website.
I
Can you
did.
tell us about your
I
website?
can. The website is thegentlementor.com. Really, it's I grew up um, being raised by my mother. My father is in prison. So I just know how important it is to have a male role model or just a male in your life. And so now that I'm 28 years old, I've been through some stuff. I just realized, that that's what I want to be for these kids as well. So I coach a boys basketball team. On the website, I talk about things that I've learned as well as just trying to inspire men like me to be mentors to kids and just how important that can be in their lives, especially now with technology, phones, kids not really knowing how to fail, or if they
Sure.
do fail, they think they're failures, and that's just not the truth. And I just, I do my best to talk about those things and just encourage them as much as I can.
I love it. You also have a really great Instagram
Oh, thank
because you
you.
have videos that you put up
I do.
almost daily. You're pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
You've
Thank
got a
you.
lot going on
Thank
there.
you
So
so
what
much.
is your Instagram for people to check that out?
Yeah, my Instagram is at the Gentle Mentor. That's tour TOUR. And yeah, I just post, a couple videos a week, just talking about things I learned from my basketball team or just life in general. And so yeah, man, thank
And
you.
how old are the kids on the basketball team that you coach?
They are 9 and 10, and
So like third, fourth grade.
fourth, fifth, yeah, something
Okay.
like that, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're playing this Saturday. Is the final game of the season, and we're
Okay.
playing for first place. So it's a
Oh,
big game.
that's a
It's a
big
big game,
deal.
and I'm excited. But it's probably been the best thing that I've done in my life. Really, I mean, one of the top
Hmm.
three. It's just been so fulfilling, and I'm so glad that I made that call. Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah,
I'm glad you made that call too.
yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into our first question of film therapy, which is, what is a film that inspires you?
A film that inspires me. Well, look, Rocky. I mean, all the Rocky
Mhm.
movies have I've been a huge Rocky fan. Just to see somebody who doesn't have a lot, who's the underdog, and he always works hard, ends up coming on top and just and finds love and then beats the Russian. I mean, just different stuff. I'm really into that.
So the series of
The
Rocky
series of
is what
Rocky.
inspires you, but would you pick Rocky as the one that you would go to as the most inspiring of those, or would you pick something else from the series?
I'd pick Rocky 4.
Okay,
I mean, that's the
specifically.
specific
Okay,
Rocky I
the
would do. The
montage.
montage.
It's a movie The whole movie is a
It
montage
is. It
basically,
is.
which
Yeah.
is amazing. A training montage. I'm going to avenge Carl Weathers' death.
Right, right.
Like we will take care of this and we'll overcome communism. Like
Exactly.
it's
And I'm
it's
gonna
pretty amazing.
amazing it is. And I'm gonna go to a meat factory and just punch some meats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, that's what I like about it.
I was thinking about this the other day, which is so interesting. Like I was walking home, I walked my daughter to school and I was thinking about Rocky 5 because
Tom again.
okay, because I was thinking about just the Rocky series in general. When I saw my first exposure to Rocky was Rocky Balboa. Like I hadn't seen any other
Okay.
movies. I went to see Rocky Balboa with my then boyfriend, now husband, and I really enjoyed it, but I never pursued like looking into the series.
Yeah.
So then maybe over a year ago, it was on Netflix
Hmm.
because Creed was coming out
That's
soon.
right.
So I watched all of the movies, and I thought it was really sad after Rocky 5 because Rocky 5 was just not good. And
Yeah.
not only was it not good, but I just felt bad for everyone that's like, that's where we ended. That's where the series ended, was
It,
on such a low note. But I understood at the same time that Rocky did have to hit that low.
of course. Low, I gotta disagree with you here.
Okay. It's not
Rocky,
a bad
well,
one.
you're
Is that
saying Rocky 5 is about. I disagree. I think Rocky 5, he's now the coach, of this up and comer
mm-hmm.
Tommy Gunn, and then Tommy, because of money, because of different things, turns on him, and then the coach fights the student. I think
Yeah.
that's amazing. To me, it did. I did want more after it
Mm.
was over. I was like, this cannot end. But I disagree. I think Rocky
Okay.
5 was a really
Okay.
good movie,
I feel like we could have gone the same route as Creed,
which I
just in
loved.
as Rocky 5.
I
You know what I'm
agree. I
saying? Like
do.
that story could have been Rocky 5 and it would have been kind of
Totally.
perfect.
You're right. You're right. I agree with that.
But then that would have made Rocky a little too perfect. Like in general. So we needed to have that one movie that was kind of like, "Ooh, he's not doing so well."
Right? Yeah.
Like he is down on his luck. He's lost his money.
M-
His family's kind of falling apart.
Right. So did you enjoy Creed? Did you see Creed with
I
Michael B.
did. I
Jordan?
loved
Me
Creed.
too. Me too.
Creed is another one that I find very inspiring.
It really is, especially with the whole cancer thing. I mean, there's so many of us, myself included, who have dealt, with a family member or someone who has cancer, and to see that, and to see him, lose it. And I
Mhm.
mean, it was touching. I agree.
It was a touching movie.
Yeah.
But my favorite Rocky is Rocky 2.
Yeah.
And I think
That's a
that's
good one.
because I felt like Apollo was really like had something to lose and had something to prove because everyone thought, "Oh, you just did this match with this guy and you didn't really care." And he's like, "What do you mean I didn't care? I fought hard. That guy did really good." And he's like, "But I'm going to prove it this time." And I'm just going to take him out. And like he had this real like vengeance
He
of
did.
I'm going to bring this person down and quickly, which spoiler, that's not how it worked out for him. So
Yeah, if you haven't seen Rocky 2, she just told you everything.
I did. I'm sorry. But it's an amazing film. It's my favorite one.
That's cool.
I think they get married in that one.
I think so.
Very
I think so.
Yeah. And it's
Adrian.
like him like spending his money at the beginning. It's kind of hilarious, the like metamorphosis that he
Yeah.
does because he's like has this fame now.
Right. My
Oh.
favorite scene is probably the one of him and Apollo running on the beach.
Is that I think that's the third
I was
one,
gonna say I
right?
think it's the
Okay.
third one, but that's a funny scene. They're
That's a scene I'd
racing,
like to recreate one
right?
day with a
You
friend.
should do it. You
I
were just Wendy
probably will.
Peppercorn. Now you could be either
I
Rocky
could.
or
I just need
Apollo.
to look up the costumes. It's like red shorts. I don't know. I got to look this up.
That's a good idea. What you think about doing something like that? That's cool.
Oh, we're doing something like this. Let's get into our second question, which is what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy.
A scene that triggers a memory for me. Look, I have cried in maybe two movies in my lifetime. One being which we talked about on the mini session a while
Hmm.
back was Hardball, which is a great movie. But here recently, like as a 28-year-old man, I saw Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal. And I literally in the movie theater, I cried at least five different times. And what's
Wow.
funny is that when I still watch that movie today, like I saw it on HBO a couple of weeks ago, I cried again. And I just think that a particular scene in that movie is when, his wife dies. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I do know I already knew that going
Okay.
into
So yeah,
having not seen it and going to see it
of course.
eventually.
For those that don't know, he's a boxer. He's a very successful champion boxer. His wife is Rachel McAdams.
Hmm.
They have a daughter together. They're in love. It's beautiful. And she ends up being shot and killed. And I just related so much to that because to see his pain after losing his wife, the one person he loves the most, and then he hits rock bottom and he loses his daughter as well. And it's just it's really touching. I lost my mom to cancer, and so I related just so much of how, like, the one person you love and the one person you care about so much in this life is just taken from you. It's really really hard. I guess watching it and to see him just break down and to really hit just the bottom. I know what that's like, and then for
Hmm.
to see him come back and overcome so much, and he ends up getting his daughter back and from the CPS, and it was an amazing story, man.
Okay, so he didn't lose his daughter in the sense of death. He lost
Yeah, I
her
should have made that clear. He
to
didn't.
the
She did
state.
not die. That once he kind of he lost it. He started drinking, drugs, guns were involved. He then
Hmm.
lost his daughter from CPS, and then he was able to get her back later.
So this is a huge transformation story, a story of grief and how one deals with that,
Exactly. Yeah.
and probably the ways you shouldn't deal with that, and then I'm assuming coming out of that and overcoming that. That's kind of my assumption of what the story is going to be, because I would hope that's what the story is going
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
it is.
I'm gonna guess.
It is, and I think so many of us, you know, we've been through these hard times. We've hit rock bottom. We've suffered loss or failure, whatever it is, and it's just we know what that's like. And sometimes to see somebody go through it, and as tough as the situation as that was, and to overcome it, it's like that inspires me to want to love more, want to live more, want to fight more for things that are
Hmm.
right, And I think that's what that movie did for me.
For you,
Yeah,
yeah. How old were you when you lost your mother to cancer?
cancer. I lost her 6 years ago, so I was 22. And like I said before, I grew up with my father who was in prison. So my mom, we had a very special bond. And, she was my best friend. She taught me a lot, as well as my grandma. And just, I had some very powerful women in my life. Um, so, yeah, to see her pass away and be in pain and there not being really anything you can do,
Right.
that's painful. And I just could relate to what Jake Gyllenhaal's character was going through. And man, I was crying with him. And I just think that's beautiful in movies, when the viewer is able to connect with the actors that way.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's what I feel like, why I love movies so much. You want to be able to see yourself in a character in the
totally.
film, and experience what they're experiencing.
Hmm.
And sometimes you don't want to experience what they're experiencing because it's painful.
Yeah,
Um, what kind of cancer did your mother have?
she had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So she was diagnosed 2 years before she passed. So she passed April 10th, 2011. So 2009, I'm guessing she was diagnosed, and it was a tough 2 years, man. Like
Mhm.
just having to be there in the hospital. She was there for a long time. So to be there every day and to see kind of what that experience does to a person, it's very painful,
Mhm.
especially when it's your mom. And so, but we also grew, a lot closer than we already were. And she had already been inspiring me so much just for her strength. But after this, she's my hero. So I'm very thankful for her.
For her, do you have siblings?
So I have a half brother. His name's Adam. We have the same mom, different dads. So and yeah, he was 13 when this happened.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was very young. Um,
And does he live here
he
in
doesn't.
the
He lives in
Okay.
Texas. I'm from
Okay.
Texas. He still lives back home.
Okay.
Yeah, but we talk often. I know it's hard on him too. And so
Mhm.
I try to be there as much as I can, and it's tough, but
Be
we're
the
getting through it.
mentor to the
Exactly,
younger
exactly,
one, just like you're
exactly,
doing with the gentle mentor.
exactly, exactly.
Well, let's close it up on Southpaw, which I do need to see,
You
and
do.
I've wanted to see. Definitely, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I
He's
find that
amazing.
he's one of the more underrated actors. Like people are say, oh, why hadn't Leonardo until Revenant? Why hadn't Leonardo been, given an Oscar? I'm like, why hasn't Jake Gyllenhaal been given an Oscar? What
Yeah,
do you mean?
right. I really feel like, especially like in the past few years, his career has just the different. Did you
Mhm.
see Nightcrawler? Oh
Yes,
my
that one is
goodness!
incredible.
If you haven't seen Nightcrawler, you need to see it. It's amazing.
It might still be on Netflix. I'm not positive, but I did watch it on Netflix.
Great film.
probably a year ago,
Great
I would
film. Yeah,
say. Yes,
he's an amazing actor. One of my favorites for sure.
for sure. Mine as well. And he's not bad to look at.
Yeah,
Okay.
very handsome.
Let's move into our third question,
Cool.
which is what is a film that helps you through difficult times?
What is a film that helps me through difficult times? Well, I mean, anything funny. One of my all-time favorite comedies is Dumb and Dumber, right?
Okay.
It's amazing. And why I say that is because, life can be difficult, life can be challenging, and in those times it's always good to laugh.
hmm
Joy, I think, just opens our heart up a little bit. It kind of makes us forget about the things that we're going through. So Dumb and Dumber to me, I mean Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels,
Right.
two of my favorites. It's just that's an amazing movie.
There's some quote that I always think of. It's like our pets
Heads
heads
are
are
falling
falling
off.
off. Like
What
what?
are we
I can't.
doing here, Harry? Yeah, it's amazing. It's I mean I can quote that movie for days, but
Okay, good. What
it's
is there?
amazing.
What is their shop? Mutt Cuts? Is that the
Mutt,
name?
I think it is Mutt Cuts. Yeah,
Okay. I'm trying to remember certain things about films so
roast
that
beef
way
au jus.
so
Yeah,
that way if anything comes up in a trivia show, I can answer it.
yeah, Muff Cuts. Yeah, that's fine.
That movie, I saw that probably like chopped up. You know how
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you see movies chopped up, you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I saw part of it today for 20 minutes
yeah.
and then I saw another part of it and it's all out of order." And then once I put it together, I was like, "This is funny and kind of frightening at the same time."
Time it is. But what's funny about that movie is even I've seen it 100 times, and each
Mhm.
time I see it, something new that I like
Mhm.
just makes me laugh, and it's just that's why it's such a great movie.
What did you think? Did you watch the sequel slash reboot?
I
How did
did.
that go? Tell me your thoughts.
I, thoughts. I will. You can't remake the original Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
So when they do like a number two or number three, I don't like that because
hmm
Dumb and Dumber is such a classic that you can't. It's like that's what you're living up to. It has to be either the same or better, and I just didn't think it was. I mean, look, still funny at times, but nothing like the original.
Did
Nothing.
you see that prequel that they did too?
I did.
Okay.
Absolutely horrible. So then when Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels came back, I was like, oh, this could be good, but
hmm
it definitely didn't live up to the original.
Based on the trailer alone, I was like, I don't think I'll be seeing
Right?
this. And I didn't. So I
Yeah.
didn't see that one. So I
Yeah.
don't know how bad it is.
Yeah.
I kind of have like, I'm not in a space where I get to go to free screenings.
Yeah.
So I still have the luxury as someone that loves movies and goes to the theater. I have the luxury of saying I'm not going to see that. Like because there are some people that like their job is to go and watch it and review it
Yeah.
and like they are required almost to go
Yeah.
see things. And I'm like, "Well, that's too bad for you. I get to choose what I get to see." Like there's that double-edged
Mm.
sword of being a reviewer,
Right.
and that's it. You don't get to choose.
That's it.
But and that's it for our questions. Oh my goodness. What do you know? We have come to the end of our show.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to rhyme all the time.
That was so good. That was so
I
good.
mean, I don't know where that came from. But anyways. So thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thank you for having me. And I think the show is just a great idea,
Well,
really.
thank
I
you.
mean, we all need therapy. Like we're all a little crazy. So what you're doing is amazing, really.
Thank
Thank you.
you. We are all a little crazy. I love doing this show, and I just hope that it can continue to infinity and beyond, much like Buzz
You're
Lightyear.
crushing it. That's,
Am I?
that's
Sometimes I'm good with the puns, and other times I don't have them. They're not there. They're just it's word vomit kind of. Anyways, where can everyone find you once again?
So on Instagram at the Gentle Mentor, Facebook the Gentle Mentor, and check out thegentlementor.com,
Mhm.
where again we're just dedicated to encouraging, inspiring, and adding values to the lives of young men.
And that's TOUR.
But yeah, Gentleman Tour, TOUR. Yes.
Very good. All right. You
Thank
guys
you.
can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies, Instagram and Snapchat, Miss underscore movies. And we will see you next time. Bye, 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 bye,
Bye,
bye,
bye,
bye,
bye,
bye, bye,
bye,
bye, bye,
bye,
bye.
bye.